It's a great day in the Bomber Nation. Welcome to the Bomber Buzz. I'm Principal Jacob Jenkins, and joining with me today is Dean of Students, Mr. Paul Rudolph. Paul, the end is nigh.
The end is getting closer.
We've got 2 weeks of school left here.
Isn't that crazy? Two full weeks of school left. And
it's hard to believe.
It is hard to believe. It doesn't seem like that long ago we were just kicking off August, sitting in the gym, getting ready to roll. And
right.
All of a sudden, here it is again.
Yeah. So tell me, what do we got going on next week?
Well, next week stays busy. Starting out on Monday, we initially had just the 7 p.m. dessert pops concert in the old gym at 7 p.m., but there's been a reschedule of a junior high varsity track meet at Ned Rose. Now, I've been informed that they will be back. Everybody will be back, and no time shouldn't be any type of conflict. So that's Monday. Tuesday is a pretty busy day. We got the elementary music concert at 2 p.m. in the old gym. We've got a junior high track meet at Partial. We've got softball at Velva at 4:30 p.m. We've got our last home event as far as athletics goes. Divide County rolls into Berthold at 4 o'clock for the last regular season baseball game. Wednesday, we go to the early out. Thursday, we roll into a track meet at Partial. And then the softball girls play Bishop Ryan in Burlington at 4:30. And then the softball girls head to Fargo for games on Friday the 10th and Saturday the 11th. And then the varsity girls and boys will also attend the Glenburn Invite at the track meet, or at the Magic City campus, in Minot on Saturday the 11th. So it's crazy. We start to get some nice weather. We play one baseball game, and then they start their region stuff the next week.
Oh yeah. So
yeah, we baseball's on the wind down. Softball's getting close to the wind down. They got a busy week yet, but that's our week for May 6th through the 11th.
Right on. So quite a bit going on. Now we got, as we mentioned, we got 2 weeks of school left. Our last day of school is May 17th, and on that day we'll be releasing at noon. So classes get done at noon. So keep that in mind, that if your kids aren't busted, you'll need to be picking them up at noon on the 17th. And that is all junior high and elementary will be here until noon on the 17th. Now, in 2 weeks, we have finals week. And finals are for grades 9 through 12. And if the students don't have to take finals, they don't have to come to school. And finals are on that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of the final week of school. The way finals work out here is if the teacher requires students to take a final, then they need to show up for that final. If a student is missing assignments on the ICU list, they need to be here until all of their assignments are completed off the list. So if they're missing assignments, they need to report to school at 8:30 a.m. on that Wednesday morning until they've completed all of their missing work. If a student is failing a class, then they have to take the final for the class that they're failing. And if a student has over 10 absences in a class, they have to take the final for that class. So your students will know next week, by the end of next week, what finals they do or don't have to take, so you can check with them. And we'll send out another reminder here at the end of next week. So be watching for that. Also next week, Paul, is Teacher Appreciation Week. And we want to give a shout out to the Berthold PTO. They are providing a lunch for all the teachers and staff on Wednesday before the early out. So a big thank you to Mrs. Ashley Brown and the PTO for doing that for the teachers. We have a few different things lined up here, but if you want to send out a message to your teachers and just let them know that you appreciate them, I know they would really like that, and it'd be quite appropriate since it's Teacher Appreciation Week next week. So, anything else we need to talk about here, Paul?
No, I was glad you brought up that 10 absence thing. I wanted to just touch on that briefly, but you pretty much nailed her. But yeah, yep. We've got that policy in place that if you've missed more than 10, you got to make it up one way or the other. And
those are those don't count. School absences don't count towards that.
Right. It's sickness, illness, appointments, right. Whatever.
All those kind of things.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we have got a great episode here today. We had the math track meet last week, and we did very well. And so today we're going to talk with Mrs. Kylin Neshem. She's our 4th grade ELA teacher, and she's going to talk about the math track meet. And then we are meeting Addison Johnson and Kylin Bryantt. They are 2 students here at Berthold who competed and placed in the math track meet. So stay tuned. They've got some great things coming up here on the Bomber Buzz. Genesis Seed Solutions, located in the Bomber Nation, is committed to utilizing the region's best producers to make sure your seed is grown with the utmost attention and most economical agronomic practices. Genesis Seed buys, sells, processes, conditions, and packages on-site with top-of-the-line equipment. From harvest to market, Genesis Seed will help you with all of your needs. Visit Genesis Seed today to learn more. Genesis Seed is a proud sponsor of the Bomber Nation. We are back on the Bomber Buzz. I am here with Mrs. Kylin Neshem. She is our ELA teacher for 4th, 5th, and 6th. And Kayla, you've been quite involved with the math track meet.
Yeah, yep. Well, last year we had the honor of putting it on here at our school in Berthold, and our district was still hosting. So this year I got to help assist where I could. Angie Burr saw in putting it on down in Plaza, and she did a fabulous job. Yeah. She is a powerhouse, so she did a great job with it, and yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah. So could you tell our listeners, what is math track meet?
So math track meet is where grades 3 through 6 get to come and compete. Grades 3 through 6 take a series of tests that are timed, and then 5 and 6 have an extra calculator test that they compete in. And then they have a team test where they all compete together. And it's really something that helps motivate the kids to want to do better and learn lots about math. And then at the end, we tally it and we have trophies. And it's a good event. Really, really good event.
Yeah, last year we had quite a number of schools attend. About how many, is it 9, 10?
9 schools and about 180 kids.
All at one shot.
Oh, yes. But it was great. And thank goodness we had beautiful weather. So in between tests, the kids got to go run outside and play and get all that energy out after testing. Yeah, yep.
So the individual is 3 tests, and then a team test, and 5th and 6th would have an additional calculator test. Is that right?
So there are actually 4 individual tests, and then the team test, and then 5th and 6th, yep, with their calculator test.
So what are the different categories then that they're competing in?
So there is basic math, there is geometry and measurement, there is odds and ends, and there is written word problems. Those are all the 4 individual ones.
Okay. And the word problems, they have more time to solve?
Yes. Yep. So actually, each of the tests, it's 5 minutes that they have. Except for word problem, they get 7 minutes. And then team test, they get 10 minutes.
Okay.
But that one, only 4 from each team compete, whereas the individual ones, all 5 get to compete because there's always an alternate for each team.
Sure.
And the alternate score can count if they place higher on those individual tests.
Okay.
So it's fun.
They're right in the mix.
They're right in the mix. The only thing that they don't get to participate in is the team test.
Sure.
But it's still such a good experience, even.
Oh, for sure.
Yes. I remember being an alternate when I was in 4th grade, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and it was just such a fun experience.
Yeah. Now, what kind of preparations do we do for the math track meet?
Lots. So it's kind of a year-round preparation where emailing other schools and making sure they know ahead of time, and also getting participants lists. And then a lot of schools do little meal rooms for teachers to go get some snacks. And then we had to have concessions up and running. We had to find enough tables and chairs for 180 kids. And then from there, it's printing out the tests, deciphering which schools are going to create the tests, because we all take turns creating.
Right.
And then checking the answers, and then printing out the accurate amount, but also making sure you have extras, and then creating a timeline for the math track meet, and then ordering awards. I could go on. It was
It's quite the production. It's a lot more work than it sounds like. You're not just showing up and doing some math. There's a lot of lead time work, and I know Angie's been working this year since the fall.
Yes.
And you've been assisting, and especially gets intense in the spring. And I remember last year,
even
by September, you were already starting to prepare for the math track.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It really takes a team, which I know up here I was so thankful that I had such a team around me, because that was actually my first time going to a math track meet, was the one that we got to host. So that was really... it was intimidating for my first math track meet, but it was so fun, and we had such a good team.
Great.
Our whole school got involved. High school teachers picked up jobs and helped out, and even students helped set up tables, and it was great. So that helped a ton. And I know in Plaza this year, Angie also had an excellent team of people around her who really helped put it on, because like you said, it really is a production. There's so many moving pieces that go into a math track meet.
Well, on the day of, it takes so many people. You think, okay, we have 189 kids doing all these tests, and even though, you got 5 minutes, and but that's all got to be scored. Someone's got to review all of those tests, and you got to do it in a timely manner so you can.
Absolutely.
So you're not there for weeks.
Seriously. And you know what? The past 2 years, our district has been so lucky. Del Groniger, who actually was principal in South Prairie, he came to help.
Oh, great.
So when people have questions on the correcting part, they could go ask him, and he would make a decisive decision, all that. And he is just fabulous. That is our counselor's father, actually, Mrs. Graveson's dad. So that was fun. We got lucky having him help out back there in the grading area, and also the Rosses. Mr. and Mrs. Ross, they are another powerhouse team where they are so accurate, precise, and diligent in what they do. So they created spreadsheets ahead of time, and they checked our tests when we had it here in Berthold. They checked all the answers for us, and I don't know how they do what they do, but they're good at it.
For sure. Well, we had a really great showing. We had third grade took third place, correct?
Absolutely.
As a team. And then we had Kylin Bryantt, who we'll hear from here on this episode. She's from third grade, and she took third place. And Addison Johnson, who is also next on the program, from the fourth grade, took second place.
Yes, those girls worked so hard. Oh, my goodness. I know Mrs. Neubauer had worked hard with those third graders, but also Mr. Rudolph worked so hard with them. And I talked to Kylin's mom, and she had been doing time tests at home routinely for quite some time. And so that really, really helped her be as successful as she was.
For sure.
And then Miss Addison, she is another workhorse where every day since January, she would spend 20 to 30 minutes with Mr. Rudolph. Actually, in spare work time, she would spend that with Mr. Rudolph practicing for this. So just months and months that these kids put into it. So it was so cool to see the fruition of it for them and all their hard work. That was excellent.
For sure. It really paid off.
It did. It did. Absolutely. And you know what? Even after that, I think sixth place is the cutoff. We had Berthold kids right there after that mark who were so close, who were so close to getting medals too. So it was great to see how all the kids how their hard work paid off.
Yeah. Something that I thought was really great too, on the day of, all the high school kids came down and they created this tunnel for the mathletes and cheered them on as they left. It was just really nice to see our older kids supporting our younger kids and what they're doing.
Oh, absolutely. That was greatly thanks to Mrs. Helfrich.
Yeah.
She came up with that idea, and she had messaged me that morning, and I was about to head out to Plaza, and I said, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
So the kids, they were just... They felt
They were
so
beaming
important.
as they were going down.
Honored, because they had done that for the high schoolers for state wrestling,
That's right.
for districts basketball, and they look up to those guys so
They
much.
sure do.
So to see them get that same feeling back from the high schoolers, that was something special.
It really was. Well, Mrs. Neshem, thanks for being with us here today. Is there any last words that you'd like to say?
I would like to say thank you for everybody who helped out. It takes a village to put this on. In our district, I think it'll be another 14 years till we host again. And good luck to DLB next year as they get to host the math
They're
meet.
hosting next year, right on.
Yep.
Well, I agree. Thank you, Kayla, for all of your work. Thank you, Mr. Rudolph, and all the teachers and the parents that put in time helping their students. We send a big thank you to North Shore Plaza for hosting this year. Things just went great. The kids had a great time. And we cannot be prouder of our Bomber Nation elementary students who just put in the time and the hard work and did such a great job here.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You bet. Stick with us. Coming up next, here is Addison Johnson to talk more about the math meet. H&L Safety and Supply has everything you need to run a proper work site. Tools, lighting, porta-johns, and more. Purchase or rent the things you need. H&L Safety and Supply is a family-owned business that exemplifies small-town values. For over 13 years, they have been serving their clients with top-notch customer service and excellent equipment. For all your worksite needs, call H&L Safety and Supply at 701-624-2183. H&L Safety and Supply is a proud sponsor of the Bomber Nation. Welcome back to the Bomber Buzz. Now that we've heard from Mrs. Neshem and kind of learned a little bit about the math track meet, we thought we would speak with some students. And we are here right now with Addison Johnson from the 4th grade. You might know about Addison Johnson. She was recently featured on our webpage for her outstanding state assessment marks. And she also competed in the math track meet and did very well. Yes. Addison, tell us how you did.
Well, in math track meet, I got 2nd place.
2nd place.
Second
There we
place. Were you nervous?
Very.
Very nervous?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
When did the nerves go away? As soon as you started writing? Never even thought about it then?
Yeah.
It was just that bus ride down there where you're a little bit?
Yeah.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So what did you do to prepare for the math track meet?
We practiced with Mr. Rudolph, and he was a really good math track meet coach.
Well, thank you. Only as good as the people that are listening.
That's right.
What was your favorite part of the math track meet? Tell us. Like they do odds and ends. They do general arithmetic or general math. They do story problems. Which one am I? Geometry. Which one did you like the best?
Odds and ends.
Odds and ends was always. It was even in practice was your favorite. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you know your scores? Which one did you do the best on?
I don't know.
You don't know? What would you guess? Just going through the whole thing, what would you guess? Was your best one?
The basic math.
Basic math. You thought you did really good?
Yeah.
How about that writing test that you did just recently? Like what do you do to prepare for writing? Do you write short stories on your own or?
No. I don't really do anything to prepare.
You just kind of read a lot?
Mm-hmm.
You do read a lot.
Yeah.
What's your favorite books?
Keeper of the Lost Cities.
Oh, yeah.
Keeper of the Lost Cities.
Can you tell our viewers a little bit about what that's about? Because they might not have read those.
Well, it's about a girl named Sophie who she thinks she's a human, but she's actually an elf. And then when she finds out, there's all these cool adventures that her and her new friends go on. And she almost gets killed like 10 million times.
10 million?
10 million.
Yeah.
How many of the books have you read, do you think?
Well, I think Shannon Messenger started writing them in like 2020 or something, and I am still waiting for the 10th book to come out.
Okay, so you're all caught up.
Mm-hmm.
You're all through them, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow. That's pretty good. You know, when I wasn't growing up then, but when I was in my early adulthood, the book you just described where it's kind of like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Have you ever seen that movie?
It's not like
It's not like that? It's not like that? Where they
no.
have all those adventures through the yard and
It's
on the
nothing
dog?
like that.
Nothing like it? It's way better?
Yeah.
Okay. You're talking Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is way better? Or?
No.
Oh.
Keeper of the Lost Cities.
Keeper of Lost Cities.
Oh, Addison.
You can't see it, but she just gave him quite the look.
That was a good look. You got a little glare at me there.
Yes.
Like, come on now.
Get with it.
So when you're at the math track meet, let's go back there. When you're at the math track meet, tell them a little bit about just how it all works. Like how many minutes do you get, how they set up a math track meet, and what it, because there's a few people who've probably never been to one.
Well, for the individual tests, everything but the story problems, you get 5 minutes. For story problems, you get 7 minutes. And then for the team test, you get 10 minutes.
And what do you do with the team test?
Well, there's an answer key, and there's 4 pages, each with 10 questions. And everyone on your team, but except the alternate, they work together and they solve the problems. They solve as many as they can in 10 minutes.
That must feel very frantic.
Yeah.
That's pretty good because when we practiced, right, we were writing numbers. Here we go, get it going, and that was sometimes some of our little mistakes was just like we would. Instead of putting a 7 down, we might have made it look like a 3 because we were writing fast or whatever. And it's like, oh, how did I do that? And you just get going fast, and some of the details get lost. But you were always pretty good at that, yeah? So I'm going to jump subjects on you. So you read the books. You don't really prepare for writing. What's your favorite subject in school?
Writing?
Writing is? Not math?
No.
It's writing, huh? Really? What if you had a choice? What would you like to write about?
Probably like anything that's just like fiction or like fantasy.
Yeah. You just like writing stories about that.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Cool.
I like that too.
Yeah, that is. That's great. Okay, well, since we're talking fantasy, if you had a cartoon character you could hang out with all day long one day, you could hang out with a cartoon character, who would you pick?
Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny? You got to elaborate for me now. Why Bugs Bunny?
Because he's hilarious. He's my favorite.
Is he? Give us one of your favorite Bugs Bunny.
My favorite is like when he's in like Space Jam and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a big Bugs Bunny fan. Look at that, Addison. We're learning quite a bit about it today. Anything else from the cartoon? So if you could, let's say you couldn't hang out with him, would you still pick Bugs Bunny if we made you a cartoon character for one day? Would you pick yourself to be, like, let's say Sunday, you can pick a cartoon character and that's who you are for one whole day. Would you pick Bugs Bunny?
No.
No? Who would you go with now then?
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse. You go Mickey Mouse.
Wanted to get to be at Disney World all day, right?
Oh, goodness. You are hilarious. You guys could have seen that laugh and smile. That was hilarious. But it was quite comical. Anything else you can tell us about the track meet or anything of that you can think of? Did I miss anything?
No, not really.
Not really? That's about the gist of it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to share with us?
No.
Nothing? How about one more then? What's the kindest thing you've ever done?
I don't know.
You're not sure? I thought you were going to say you walk your sister to school.
That's not fun.
Oh. I didn't say
just
fun.
required.
I said kindest.
I'm not really nice to my sister.
Orange, oh, you are too.
Fair
You're
enough.
nice to everybody. You're nice to everybody. Well, that was great, Addison. We loved every minute of it.
Well, Addison, thank you for being on the Bomber Buzz. Congratulations again. Second place at the math meet and the only student to score a 4 on writing in the state. She's just out here crushing it. Good job, Addison. We are proud that you are in the Bomber Nation.
We certainly are.
You're killing it. Good job.
Yep. Enjoy seeing you every day.
Coming up next, we've got Kylin Bryantt, third grader who also placed in the math meet. SandPro is a leading sand filtration specialist who uses cutting-edge wellhead technologies and automatic solutions to keep at the forefront of innovation in the oil field automation sector. SandPro prioritizes the rural values of safety, integrity, quality, commitment, and teamwork. Learn more about how SandPro supports local communities and the environment by visiting sandpro.com. SandPro is a proud sponsor of the Bomber Nation. We are back on the Bomber Buzz, and now we are here with our final guest for this episode. It is Kylin Bryantt from the third grade. Kylin was in the math meet, just like Addison, and she placed third place. So third grade, third place. Welcome to the Bomber Buzz. Kylin, you must be pretty proud.
Yes, I am.
Were you happy?
Yes.
Excited?
Yes.
All things above. All the work you did paid off.
Yes, it did.
It did. And tell us a little bit about all the work you did do leading up to the math track meet.
Well, we practice about 30 hours a week, and all the practice paid off. It was a struggle because there were some problems I didn't really get, and I would shut down and start to cry. So then my dad was
During practice.
Yes, at home. So my dad was like, well, if you don't want to do it, well, then why do I want to be? Because then that means you don't want to be here, so why would I be here? I'm just wasting my time. So then we would go over it, and then he would get in my head. And then when my dad's at work, my mom would explain it in a different way. Like when we practiced long division, I didn't really get it at first. And then my mom said, think of it being as a school bus. How many people can fit on this seat? Let's say there's 6 people that need to fit on their seat. So then 6 people can fit on that seat, and then you just do the rest of the long division problem. And all the work paid off.
Yeah, it sure did.
It did. So mom and dad got you working for that's 30 hours is more than what we even did in school, because we would get in school for about a half hour a day extra.
Yep.
And then you'd go home and spend some time with mom and dad working on math track meet. And it paid off.
Yep.
Huh? Because you did a nice job.
Excellent
Were you nervous at all leading up to when on the bus ride down? Were you nervous?
Yeah, I was nervous. I was jumpy. And when we got there and we were about to start the first test, my hands were getting all sweaty. I was getting hot. And I just felt I was like excited mixed with nervous, and it just came to be a really strange emotion.
But then when it started, it all went away.
Yeah.
And then you were just doing math.
Yes.
Isn't that interesting how you could focus then? Like, oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
know this
Yeah.
stuff.
It's like, oh, yeah. When you prepared, it's hard, right? It's hard. I mean, you're going to be nervous because it was important to you. But then when you flip that paper over, it's like, oh, it's math. It's just what we've been practicing.
Yep. And on Thursday, not Thursday, on Wednesday, we did 4 different math tests, all the 4 math tests, the odds and ends, the basic math, the measurement, and the word problems. And I did them all. And then Thursday, I got the rest day for my brain. And then Friday was the big day, and I hit it hard and won a 3rd place medal.
Yeah, that's awesome. Which one of those 4 is your favorite? Odds and ends, arithmetic, basic math, measurements. Which one is your favorite?
It's probably like odds and ends because it has a mixture of everything. It has like measurements in it combined with some word problems and then the basic math. And it has it all like combined, and it was pretty fun.
Okay. So how many feet are in a mile?
Feet in a mile, 5,280 feet.
Let's go. Let's go. There's still 3 feet in a yard?
Yes.
Oh, there is? Okay. Still 4 quarts to a gallon?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure. Measurements are still working.
You got this down.
Oh, we got a big old grin on her face. I like it. Is there anything else you can tell us about the math track meet?
Well, when I got in it, my mom and dad were so happy. And then when we were always asking Miss Neubauer who the alternate was, and then Alina, she was in it too. She called it the alternate. And then Colton was like, "It's not the alternate, it's the alternate." And then when we asked Miss Neubauer and she finally said it was one of the boys, I was like, "Oh, this hard work paid off. Finally, I get my dream come true." And it was so fun, and I loved it. When I was walking up to get the medal in the award ceremony, I almost tripped because I was like doing a jog, the happy walk, the big smile on my face.
Did you hit the gritty?
No.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. Well, that's awesome, Kylin. We love it that you got a chance to share with us about the math track meet. We're excited that you had a great time, and we love the fact that you prepared and we're ready to compete. And anything else you want to tell us?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Mr. Jenkins, you got anything else for Kylin?
Kylin, thanks for joining us here today. You know, we talked with Addison, and we talked with Kylin now, and also our 3rd grade team. You guys placed as a team, right? What was your place as a team?
We took 3rd place as a team, and we did well during the team test. We only had 8 questions left out of the whole 40.
Wow. And
then we split them all into, we split because there was 40 questions, and there's 10 questions on the page. So we split them up into, because there's the 4 people.
Yes.
And then we split them up, and then each did ours, and then, there was 10 minutes to that one test, so then we did it, and then I finished first, and then I had to ask someone if they needed any help, and then Bentley, he needed help on a division problem, and I did it without even writing it down. I just did it in my head fast, like boom, just like that. It was fun.
So you guys really got to work as a team.
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
Who were the other 3 members?
Well, it is the other 3. It is Bentley, and then Alina and Finley, and then the alternate is Colton.
There you go.
Right.
You guys did great.
It's a great team.
Yes.
Yep.
You guys worked real well together.
And they did really well in practice too.
Well, we are just super proud of all of our mathletes. They worked really hard, lots of extra practice, and their work paid off. And Kylin, I was supposed to say that you got your math genes from your mom, obviously. But I think by that smile, it was more from your dad.
Yeah. It was definitely more from my dad. They practiced every day when they got home. And one more thing to add about it is one time when we were walking into church, my dad said, how many pints in a gallon? And then I was like, it's math time again. And then he was like, anytime is math time.
I love that. Well, thanks for being with us here today, Kylin. We got a message here coming up and more on the Bomber Buzz. Sidelines Bar and Grill, located in downtown Berthold, is your go-to for a tasty meal and a cold drink. Come on down for lunch or after a hard day of work. From burgers and wraps to chicken strips, mozzarella sticks, and more, Sidelines will fill you up and satisfy your cravings. Enjoy great friends and conversation over a refreshing beverage or two. When you're looking for somewhere to relax, Sidelines Bar and Grill has you covered. Sidelines Bar and Grill is a proud sponsor of the Bomber Nation. You've been listening to the Bomber Buzz. The Bomber Buzz is our weekly podcast from the Bomber Nation. If you have something that you would like to hear, or if you have questions or comments, please email us at bomberbuzz@mylcsd.us, or go ahead and call the school. If you'd like to be on this podcast, give us a buzz. We'll get you on here. Make sure to like and subscribe so that you get updates of every new podcast. We put out new podcasts on Fridays. Thank you. Have a good night and fly high, Bombers.